Hi folks, so I wanted to give you a few tips on your homework tonight with the pre-calculus exploration. You've already done the first page, so you're just focusing on the three problems that are on the back side. So let's start with number 5, and I want to first provide you with some extra information. So first of all, we have that the radius in number 5 should be 10 centimeters, all right? And then the other thing is probably should have provided you with the area formula for a circle. Okay, so you should be able to use the fact that you know the radius and the measure of this central angle cutting off the arc, and then the area formula to help you figure out what just the area of the shaded part is. All right, so I might point out you can quickly figure out what the area of the entire circle is, but then you don't want the area of the whole circle, you just want this piece of it. So remember what we were doing on the front of this exploration with arc length. We just needed a fraction of the entire circle to help us get just the arc that we wanted from the whole circumference. Well, now we just want to get the area we want from the entire area of the circle. So you're doing something very similar in number 5 that you were doing in I guess it was number 2 on the front side. All right. Now, when you get done with doing this in degrees, then number 6 is asking you to redo this problem where instead of using degrees for your angle, you're using radians. So you know now how to change 120 degrees into radians. And once you get that, you basically want to do the same thing, but just keep in mind you're in radians. You'll know, you should know that you have the correct answer if you get the same thing for number 5 that you got for number 6. And I'll tell you right now that the answer to number 5 should be 100 pi over 3. Here, let me write it. I'll let you think about what the unit should be on this, but keep in mind you're finding an area. All right, so this is the answer you should get for both of these problems. It's just one of them you're doing it in degrees, the other in radians, and make sure you show your work for how you're getting 100 pi over 3. Okay, let's go on down now to number 7. So I'm going to click on something that's going to erase all this information here, but that's okay. You can just scroll back on your video and see it. All right, let's scroll down to number 7 and take a look at that one. So the main thing I would say about this problem is to pay attention to the units. All right, if you look at part A, they're asking for revolutions per minute, and when you read through the problem, I'm giving you 1 revolution every 20 seconds. So can you work that 20 seconds up to a minute to know how many revolutions are in a minute? All right, it's actually not very hard to do. And once you know how many revolutions you're doing in 1 minute, then you need to figure out how many radians that would be in 1 minute. So, and you know how many radians are in 1 revolution. So you should be able to then go from your answer in part A to get your answer in part B. All right. And once you've figured that out, how many radians you have in a minute, then you'll be coming down and actually getting the speed in meters per minute. So you have to go from radians to meters. Keep in mind, you do know for each horse what their radius is. One is 6 meters in the center of the ride, and the other one's 8 meters. All right, so you're actually going to get 2 answers for part C, one for each horse. And we can see if the 2 horses are moving at the same speed. But anyway, once knowing the radius and knowing how many radians you have should help. Now, you're only going to have 1 answer for part B because the 2 horses are going to be going through the same number of radians per minute. So keep that in mind, but you will end up with 2 different answers for part C. And if I didn't mention it, part C, if you think about it, is an arc length problem, right? Because how far the horse travels depends on the length of the arc it goes through for however many radians it's doing. All right, I'm going to write down now what the answers to parts B and C are. So when you're working through it, you'll know if you got it right, and you need to make sure you're showing your work for how you get it. Okay, well, my writing is rather crude, but the one answer to part B is going to be 6 pi radians per minute. Okay, and as I said, you're actually going to get two different answers for part C, or two answers for part C. One of the answers for one of the horses, the speed, is going to be 36 pi meters per minute. All right, I'll let you figure out what the other speed of the other horse is. And make sure you're showing your work for how you're getting these answers. All right, I hope this helps, and I will see you in class.